I don't know what the problem is. It's too bad. I don't like it when things are
Different.
not working.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking about which, Edward, he's
He
on
doesn't
strike.
work.
No, he's on strike.
He's on
He's
strike.
yeah, and somebody
Unfair to
crossed the
dogs.
picket line,
Is he?
and
Is
sorry, go ahead.
are there unfair practices for dogs in your household?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently, Betty shows up, which is a problem, and then Jennifer shows up, which isn't as much of a problem, but he still
He still
isn't
doesn't
there.
like it.
And then Jennifer left. Jennifer,
What?
can you come back for just a second? What was the problem?
What problem?
You had a look. I thought
Just picking up the dog.
like I had done something to the. I
I was
haven't.
wondering why you were saying like the Jennifer didn't. That's not as much.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm explaining the dog's on strike, and people are crossing the picket line. When Betty crossed the pickup line, he was very upset, and then when you crossed it, it wasn't as bad. I guess yeah, being out of the loop, as it were, on that little thing would have made that statement kind of odd.
I don't like this camera, I gotta say.
Which
I
one?
look
The
mine.
one that you have?
It's got this it's got this stupid low light.
Oh!
Yeah, that's on me. It's got this stupid low light filter on it, which like pumps up the brightness. So right now I'm in a dark theater. I'm being lit mostly by the monitors in front of me. So I've got this very pale look, but my nose is bright red for some reason.
Oh, Ben, I hate to tell you this, but that pale look that you've got, pretty standard. But the red nose thing, though, I did notice.
More pale than normal. I will admit I am a very healthy hue in normal life, but this just makes me look very sickly, and
Yeah,
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I will say this: it does look like you're lit by more than just that monitor. It's a
I've got the house lights on, but it's not very.
yeah.
Don't turn this
Oh,
monitor on.
hey, well, check this out, right? I have this ring light on. You see what I look like right now?
Yeah.
Watch this, cycling it through.
Ooh.
See, that's the most.
I should just put a light on in front of me.
Before I
If I were
had-
vain.
before I had my my audio issues, I'm looking for a new watch, Ben.
Oh yeah. I
So
hear
this is
Apple
my
has a
current-
watch that could sell you.
Who does?
Apple.
Oh yeah, yeah. It costs a lot, Ben. That watch.
Do they? I don't have one, so I don't know.
Yeah, it costs a whole bunch. But I have. You see the watch that I have here? Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn this background off. How do I do that? I go to view.
No, in
I
Zoom
don't.
you go to virtual backgrounds, which is on the up arrow next to the camera icon in the lower part of the screen.
Let's see. Choose virtual background. I am going to say none.
Yeah.
And here I am. Okay, so this is my watch. You can see it.
No, it's not in front of the camera. Hang on. All right, now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, you see how there are a bunch of little metal rings,
Yeah.
or
On the
not
band.
rings, slats or whatever.
I'm sure
And you
there's
see
a
how
proper name
I-
for those.
Have a bunch of hair
Yeah. Oh
on my
yeah.
arm.
That's an issue.
Yeah. I've been dealing with this since not this Christmas, but last Christmas. And when I sleep, if it touches my face, it pulls out my beard hairs and my face hairs.
I got an easy solution for that one, sir. Just take your watch off when you go to bed.
Ah, but then what if I want to know what time it has been when I'm sleeping?
There are other methods to knowing how the time is.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna get a different watch,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to find. I can't find one, but I'm thinking that it might exist a braille watch, so that I can learn braille, and also so that I can, when I'm sleeping, see what time it is, without using the light, so I wouldn't wake Jennifer.
You're gonna do what? How are you gonna tell the time? You're gonna see what time it is on a braille watch?
with my finger, Ben.
You're gonna feel what time it is.
I'm gonna feel what time it is. Absolutely. I was gonna get a binary watch, which is really cool. It's got the different lights for the different times,
Yeah.
and you add them together, which is cool. But the problem was that Edward, you got the month and the day and the year not present on that watch. It's only the hour and the minute.
Not enough face to do all that in binary.
Oftentimes and then I found one. I was like, oh, this one's in binary, but it's not, Ben. It's not. It's simply got the numbers of the times and everything like that. So it has 1 through 12, and it just has a line next to it. And then it's got a line next to 1 through 60. And they call it a binary watch. That's not binary, Ben. It's not binary at all. It's so crazy. So I'll figure it out.
My watch is it's like your watch. It's a regular watch. I've got a regular band that has stuff. But my arm isn't as hairy as yours, so my arm hair does not get stuck inside my watch.
Well, yours looks
as
a little smoother too. Like the links between the watches, it looks like they might even be rounded a little bit.
Yeah, they are rounded a bit. Let me show you that.
Yeah, these are just here. Look, these are just straight on, like teeth. Biting. Oh, speaking of which, did you see under the Silver Lake?
No, haven't heard of it.
It's a movie. It's pretty good. But there was a song, and the song was called "Turning Teeth." And the phrase "turning teeth" really made me like, because I'm thinking about teeth in someone's mouth rotating and how crazy that is. But then I thought about it. Teeth in a gear.
Yes.
Those would be the turning teeth. So it's talking about machinations, maybe.
Wicked machinations.
Wicked machinations. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Paul.
Edward is just over here.
All right, we didn't do our GudeLaurance, Paul Goody routine today. Ben
Lawrence.
Paul Goody.
Hey.
I'm enjoying your Gene Shalit facial hair more and more as the days go on.
I'm really liking it as well. I don't know if I'm ever gonna trim this mustache. I might just grow it out and then move it.
Be like an old-timey explorer.
So,
hey,
how
Edward.
are things, Ben?
Oh, I gotta tell you, things are busy. Yeah. Yeah. I do not have a full-time job, but I have enough work that can constitute a full-time job, and so sometimes it feels like I'm falling behind, but because there are things that I'd like to do that I don't get paid to do that I have to neglect while I do the things that I get paid to do so I don't disappoint other people. I am only disappointing myself. And maybe one other person.
By the rules, I have one job. I am one of those employees where it is actually illegal for me to moonlight, as they say, Ben, according to my contract. Which is why I take it very seriously. So I'm not really even working on any projects at all. I'm just doing leisure stuff, Dungeons and Dragons, for example, as you are well aware. But listen to this, right?
Yeah.
I am playing Dungeons and Dragons with Annex. I am playing Dungeons and Dragons at my home game. I am playing Mothership every Saturday, which is a space game. I am playing Monster of the Week every Tuesday. This Friday, I'm going to be playing Savage Worlds. And that's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
But it's small potatoes compared to how many games some other people play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
All right, so when we last spoke, we were talking about whether or not we wanted the next Annex Games D&D campaign to be on. I think it was either March 5th or March 19th, and I said March 19th because that's the day I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was originally scheduled to be on March 5th, and I convinced Ian that that was a bad idea. Not just because I couldn't be there for the whole day, but we are going to have a rental in space.
That's right. I heard
And
about that.
if this game is going to be in person, it actually takes us about a day to set up. And so I'm like, I told Ian, I'm like, this is a bad idea trying to do these two things at the same time.
Yeah, I think that works out personally. Also, I like having more time, so it's
Indeed.
all good as far as I'm concerned.
Are we gonna have to do another wrap up of what happened in part 2? Are you gonna do a parts 1 and 2 wrap up?
Oh boy, I don't know. That's a really good idea. I should think about it probably sometime
Yeah.
before then.
The March 19th feels, it's not even February 19th.
I-
March 19th feels so far away.
I feel like now this is interesting. Now let's talk about for just a second TV shows,
Yeah.
the previously ons, right?
Right.
What they normally do, and we can't do this, right? Previously ons, they show you what happened just recently, and when the shows go on, like I'm thinking about Better Call Saul, for example.
Right.
They will show a clip maybe from seasons ago if it has relevance to what's happening
Right.
in
Yeah.
this clip. Now we can't necessarily do that, but I think maybe we keep the same thing. We introduce Nompton, we say what it's got in it, and then we jump ahead a little bit. So like we might mention the kobolds a little bit, but we'll jump ahead to the pony and the choice that is being asked to make, which I think would be good. I need to talk about something because it's happening right now. The fact that this one audio channel isn't working, I'm obsessed with it, right? I've had to actually hide the Audacity thing because I want to troubleshoot it while this is going on. And I know that I don't talk about where I work or anything like that, but I will say this. If I'm giving a presentation to somebody and there's something wrong with my presentation, like if I notice, for example, that I've used the same title from the previous slide and I haven't changed it,
Yeah.
that's all I will think about. And I have to actually stop when I'm presenting and say, I just want to let everyone know that I am going to be thinking about the fact that this title is wrong for the rest of this slide. I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to be a little bit distracted. And then I just go forward and do it. But it is not good.
I was recording a podcast once here at Annex, actually, and I had noticed during the recording that there was a knot in one of my XLR cables going from the mixer to the microphones, and
Ooh.
all I could think of was like hoping there would be like a lull in the conversation for that one person that I could go through, unhook the XLR, undo the knot, hook the XLR back in.
Yeah, you get it. This guy gets
Yeah,
it.
I
Hey,
get
speaking about this guy gets it, have you heard that there's going to be a new Jordan Peele movie?
Yes, it's called Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
I love that.
It's great. It's great. And I saw the trailer for it. Not much new footage.
I have not seen any footage.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to say anything about it, but yeah, I saw a poster for it. I saw the trailer for it, all of which looks good. And people are saying, Ben, not spoilers, this is just rumors, but people are saying that there's one part in the trailer where they juxtapose the face of the guy from Get Out with the female character from
I've
Us.
seen that image. Yeah.
And people are suggesting that it's possible that there will be something that ties Us and Get Out together in Nope, which would be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But
It would be. I mean, us. Get Out, I don't know how many times I've seen Get Out. It stands up on multiple viewings. Us, I've seen a couple times because I watched it once, then I made Blair watch it. Us, I think was less strong than Get Out, but it was still a pretty decent film.
I actually, this is where we're the Beatles and Rolling Stones or whatever. I prefer Us. I like Us a whole bunch. The concept of the tethers and the underground thing and all that sort of spoilers for. I didn't really say anything. Sort of spoilers for Us, but it was. I just like that dynamic, and it's an interesting. So yeah. Although Get Out is wonderful and great, and
I'm not saying Us isn't a bad film. I just like Get Out more.
Yeah, and the exact same thing. I'm not saying Get Out is a bad film. I just like Us more. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm very excited for that. I have not seen much of the Book of Boba Fett. I'm gonna have to finish it.
I think I'm on episode 4.
I've been doing a lot of TikTok recently, so I'm behind on my podcasts and my television. But the real reason, so what I normally do is I listen to podcasts when I'm playing like Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, because I like going around and killing people with knives in the game.
You don't need to listen. You don't need to listen to the game audio to play it.
Not really. Not if I'm just killing people and not listening to anything.
Do you put the Matrix soundtrack on while you do that?
No. Although I could. The other thing then is that there are the Olympics. Now, some people are boycotting the Olympics. Jennifer is not boycotting the Olympics. Jennifer is watching them. She loves the Olympics. She loves winter sports. And so
I'm boycotting the Olympics insofar as that I never really watched the Olympics anyway.
Yeah. I would not, but she watches them. And here's the thing that's interesting. When she's watching them, and I'm like, oh, well, I think I might be this way with football as well, and things like that. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I would never choose to watch this. This is not something I'm interested in. But when she's watching it, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. All these people who are doing flips off of this half pipe, that's,
yeah.
I can find things that I find interesting about it.
I get too... I don't want to call it emotionally invested because I don't think emotion has anything to do with it, but I just feel bad when say the figure skater goes for some sort of maneuver and falls down.
Oh.
I'm just like, I hate watching that part.
Yeah, I
guess it's just like, I think it's like, sharing that embarrassment, because they get up and they're all, not pretend like it didn't happen, but they got to push through to the end of the routine, even though they know they're pretty much out of it by that point. But they still have to have a smile on their face. And I sort of sympathize with that sort of like forced enthusiasm after you know that the game is already thrown.
Yeah. What I might do.
What might you do?
If I were a skater and I did that and I messed up like that, just see how far down you can go. Just stumble on every single part of your routine.
There's gotta be like a Second City or a Saturday Night Live that's done something like that.
Yeah. I want to say there's got to be a real person who's done that at some point. Like they're having a bad...
Yeah, but I'm vaguely remembering a sketch where, and it might have even been Mr. Show, I don't know, where like a figure skater just fails at every level, and like the big, like, there's a like near the end of the sketch, this person has just, I don't know if they've dropped their partner or they've fallen down, but there's just like a single lockdown shot of the ice, and you see this figure skater like slowly skate by, just bleeding, You know, and the
Oh,
announcers are like, "Oh, and the still," and maybe it's even like a Monty Python.
man, I
I've
do not
seen
remember
something
that.
like that. Don't know where I've seen it.
It sounds good though. It's something
Yeah,
that I would want to watch.
yeah. I mean, and it sounds like Second City just because most of them are Canadian.
Let me ask you a question about that, actually. This is so interesting because I was gonna seriously, Ben, I was gonna ask you this at the top of the show. Did you watch Second City as a kid?
I did watch Second City as a kid. It was on Comedy Central.
Because neither Jennifer nor I watched it um when we were growing up. And you watched it on Comedy Central. Now wait a second. When did Comedy Central come out? How old were you?
Well, I mean, as a kid, I didn't watch it as a kid. I was more of a teenager.
Yeah.
So I want to say that it was like 1992, maybe.
Okay, 1992. So 1992, I was in college.
Yeah, I was in high school.
That sounds correct. Because wasn't Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Comedy Central at that time?
Yeah.
And was it Penn Jillette that was doing the voice? There was somebody.
So I know a friend. I have a friend who
Yeah.
can, when it comes to meat, he's like your drug dealer for long lost TV shows and movies, right?
Yeah.
He's got a Discord channel, and you're like, I haven't seen this in a while. Can you find this? And he goes off and he finds it and puts it on his server.
Yeah.
And I asked him recently if he could locate Dr. Kat's professional therapist, and he found all of it. I've since discovered like it's all on YouTube, but it reminds me so much of the day when Penn Jillette was the announcer for Comedy Central. And every time I hear the Dr. Katz theme, I hear Penn Jillette going, "This is Comedy Central."
Yeah. So it was Penn Jillette at
Yeah.
one point in time?
Totally. He was their announcer from like when they first started to, I don't know, maybe like the early 2000s.
Because there's this guy, his name is Kyle Katane or Kyle. I don't know. It's a Kyle and a K sound.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And he does announcements for them. And he sounds very similar to the Penn Jillette voice, not necessarily a sound alike, but close. And for a while, I was like, maybe I was just gaslighting myself. Maybe he actually didn't do.
It was Penn Jillette.
Okay.
On some of these episodes I've been watching, you can hear they've got like whoever like copied it off of some weird torrent server included the bumper at the very end. And it's
The
definitely
crazy thing is,
him.
Teller is there for every single thing. Also got paid. No,
He was in the booth.
Were you with me, or did I go on by myself on the one Halloween where it was Teller reading the subtitles for the German Faust?
I have never seen that.
Oh my gosh.
Was that live?
It was so great. It was live.
Wow.
There was an orchestra playing music, and yeah, Teller comes out. He's wearing devil horns, and he says, "While God and the devil are clearly fictional, there was a Faust," and he gives a little bit of a history of it. And then yeah, it's German subtitles, and he's reading the English versions of it. It was really good. One of the best things I've seen. I think I went by myself. But, I talked to him afterwards, doing the waiting. And then when gets time to talk to him, I'm like, "Hello, I like everything that you do. You're a very interesting person, and thank you for being here." And then I left.
Both Penn and Teller are very generous with their fans after their shows. I went to a show at the Paramount actually a number of years ago and hung out. I went with somebody who actually knew Penn from days gone by.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we hung out and it was interesting seeing both of them just being so like just hanging out for as long as it took.
Yep.
Thousands of people fill the Paramount. Half of them probably stayed to shake their hands and say what a big fan they were. And when
I saw both of them outside at the Moore actually when I first got to Seattle.
Yeah.
and they signed my gun owner's permit, and
No.
I don't have it anymore. I lost it. But oh, Ben, I'm going to use the R slur for just a second. I'm just forewarning everyone. It is there is a reason for it. When I was in Illinois, I filled out. This is in the 1990s.
I know what you're gonna say.
I filled out my gun owner's permit, and on that gun owner's permit in 1990 in Illinois, there was a line, "Are you retarded?" And I thought that it was the funniest thing because it was this official government form, but it sounded like a grade school kid.
Yeah. If you like
And
this gun, please check this box.
and I was like, what? Who who came up with that question? Why was it allowed on a form in the 19? Well, here's the other thing. In the 1990s, I joined the Air Force, and in the Air Force, the line about "Are you gay?" or "Are you a homosexual?" I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was "Are you a homosexual?" had a line through it. They didn't take it out; they just drew a line through it, and I
They're
thought
like, we're
that
probably
was,
gonna need this again one of these days. Once
or
Clinton's don't ask, don't
way
tell policy expires.
my interpretation of it was, hey, we're still,
Yeah.
we want you to know that this was on this form, that kind of thing.
I want to make up a scenario where that checkbox on your gun owner's permit was there because the person responsible for like creating that document like got into an argument with his neighbor. His neighbor had a child. And the person was like, you shouldn't let them shoot guns. Like, I can let my kid shoot guns whenever he wants. He's very good at it. No, but I'm worried he's going to shoot me. But no, he's very good. I trained him well.
And then he was like, you know what? I'm just going to put this down here.
Yeah. I don't want Rob's kid to shoot my dog.
That's I do like the idea that you're filling out an entire form and it's
Are you Rob's kid?
Are you Rob's kid, Kyle?
There's a you probably know this subreddit. It's F this person in particular.
Oh yeah. Specifically, yeah. I mean, I'm specifically aware of that Reddit, of that subreddit. Oh yeah, I still frequent public freakout every once in a while just to see what's going on, and so that is how I know about the trucker thing that was happening in your home country of Canada.
Still is happening, actually.
What's that?
Still is happening.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Because I saw things where the police were arresting people. And they were like, what did he do? He didn't do anything. He honked his horn. How is that illegal? It's against city ordinance.
They have since made it. No, I don't think it's illegal, but yeah, they've made it against city ordinances to blare the horn. I read about this. There was a lot of the truckers there are saying that not just the truckers, but like people who are close to the situation, saying that it's going to be really hard to get rid of these trucks because you need heavy hauler tow trucks to just physically move them. Mm-hmm. And the truckers are like, they're on our side.
I do know that police were confiscating gas.
Yeah.
From people. And people were like, oh, well, here's the thing. This is the important thing. You and I may agree on this. I do not mind the tactics. I mind the issue, right? It's about masks and not wearing them and vaccine mandates and stuff like that.
Is it, though? I mean, continue your thought and I'll tell you what I'm talking about.
Okay. So that's what, at least the people that I saw.
Yeah.
Who are complaining, that's what they're complaining about. But for like in St. Louis, back when the unions were, fighting and stuff like that, the we talked about this with the veiled prophet thing, how it was a celebration of the fact that they broke this strike. The strikers brought trains and left them in the middle of the streets, brought train cars, and that was highly effective, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if it's tactics versus reason, I guess. But what were you gonna say? Is it though your question?
So it's partially connected to mask mandates and vaccine mandates, but I've heard that it's more of a recruiting fundraising tool. So these truckers are trying to, well, A of all, they're trying to fundraise, and they did actually raise about $10 million on GoFundMe, which went to like one or two people who aren't even truckers. They were like these organizers of this protest.
Sure.
GoFundMe, I believe, has since stopped payment on that. They've paused the fundraising. But it's also a propaganda tool because they're trying to recruit like other truckers from around Canada to their cause, and like really, what is their cause? Because I've also read. I mean, granted, I'm like things I've just read in passing. I don't really know this for sure, but it's a very small percentage of truckers who are taking part of this, of the whole like trucking industry that's in Canada.
Are they part of a union? These guys?
I do not know that.
Because that would be interesting for me, and it might affect the way that I think about it. If they are, and this is okay.
I've heard that truckers are independent contractors. A lot of them own their own trucks and pay for their own gas. That doesn't sound like union membership to me.
Because I don't know. I would be actually, if a union was against a mask mandate, that would put my the left parts of my brain against each other a little bit.
Well, then you have to ask yourself who are the union stewards, and do they really have the health and safety of their members front of mind?
Well, I will say this: there are some unions, Ben. I'm not going to name which unions they are, but they're known as strikeless unions, and it's because the union leadership and the contractor or the companies, the different companies in that industry, all meet. They have a big meeting and they decide ahead of time how things are going to go, and then the union bosses come back and tell their union, hey, this is how things are going to go, and everyone kind of just deals with it. So there is still a union, but it's beholden a little bit to industry, so it's a weird dynamic.
Union in name only.
Uina.
We know.
We know
what's best for you.
Hey, you Weena, what's going? I like it. It's not bad. So
for some reason I can't hear you anymore.
Really? You still can't hear me? I'm not coming through. Let me see. I'm still getting recorded. The stream can hear
you. I can't hear you
on this side. Oh, well, that's different. I don't know what to say about that, Ben. You're just seeing the bars go. You're not actually hearing what I say.
Still can't hear you. I'm going to try to work on this, but just keep talking and I'll figure it out.
Well, of course, Ben. I will.
Maybe this will be one of those instances where
it's interesting because I'm actually talking to you.
Paul and I actually say something together. Well, he can hear me, so that
I can totally hear you. So obviously, I'm responding.
I can't wait to listen to this part.
As though you're talking. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. You're going to love it, probably.
The problem was Wirecast detected feedback and then stopped your feed from me.
Stop my feed from you?
There we go. I can hear you now.
That's interesting. Okay.
All right. It just turned off your audio for some reason. Yeah, when I yelled into the microphone, it's like Wirecast has detected feedback, and I just hit like the OK button. But apparently that OK button was like, "Do you want me to turn off the whatever?"
So,
and I'm back.
There is more drama, Ben, on D&D TikTok. I know that you love it when there's D&D TikTok drama.
I love to watch that community rip itself apart.
So this is the fun thing. Do you remember what the big drama was in this will be interesting. Do you remember what the big TikTok drama was in the past, Ben?
Was it the Dungeons and Dragons people fighting against the tabletop RPG? Any game is better, or you should get out. You don't need to play Dungeons and Dragons. You can play any TTRPG. And Dungeons and Dragons people are like, oh, we like Dungeons and Dragons, so we're gonna stick with it. And the other people are like, no, you're limiting yourself.
So that is really great. I had forgotten about that one. There's one earlier, which is hey.
Oh, wait, let me see if I can guess this one.
Yeah.
If I'm a white guy, can I play? Yeah, a non-human character of color.
Oh, and it wasn't a non-human character of color. This is the important thing.
Oh, a little added flavor.
So people of color who exist in the real world, said, "Hey, I would prefer it if you, a white person, don't play a character that is based off of a person of color." Because generally in the United States, white people pretending to be people of color hasn't gone well.
Right.
And even if you're trying to be as respectful as possible, we don't like it. Please don't do it. And then the white people said, what? You mean I can't play, like, what if I want to play an orc and his skin is dark? Is that a problem? What if I can't, like that?
Yeah.
White people doing white people things. Anyway, the thing that started
I like your
this entire deal was that there's a show that I do not watch or listen to. It's a podcast, but it's also a live stream thing. Critical Role. A lot of people like it. It's Matt Mercer. It's got its own animated show on Amazon Prime now, I think, or Netflix, one of the two.
I have heard of
Amazon Prime. What's that?
I have heard of it.
Yeah, I like how Amazon and Netflix kind of occupy the same parts in people's brains. Like if something's on Hulu, you normally know it's on Hulu, but if it's on Amazon or Netflix, sometimes you don't know which it is. So, there was a creator who said that someone who was running a character, the character's name was Opal, had stolen her original character, whose name was also Opal.
Okay.
And they had an Opal theme about them, whatever. It's very, hey, I've got a character named Mr. Green, and you've got a character named Mr. Green. My character named Mr. Green wears green everywhere. Your character, Mr. Green, wears green everywhere. You stole this guy from me, whatever. So, but the thing that was bad was that this person, who was a white person, was playing a person of color in the game. And they were like, hey, don't do that. Please don't do that. And it started this big argument. So that person. Oh, and then there was some other stuff too, like they used somebody's artwork for their live stream, but they didn't pay them. They just took the art and used it, that kind of thing. So the whole thing, everyone's the main character on the internet at some point in time. Hopefully today isn't your day, whatever. So people push back. But here is the big thing. There were creators of color who were saying, hey, this person is not really apologizing for this and all that. And all these other people came in to defend this person, and it blew up the thing. So that happened.
Okay.
Just recently, there was a video where these D&D creators were saying that they're going to an adult summer camp, and they made this video, and they're like, I'm going to be there, and they had their different names and everything like that. And one of the people was this person that blew up D&D TikTok before with the I'm going to sue Critical Role if they don't put me on, that kind of thing, right? So, and everyone's like, hey, why are you going to be doing this thing with this person? Don't you know that they're bad and they did all this bad stuff? And a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't know that they were in it, I backed out of it. Other people were like, now that I know, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
People were like, I'm sorry for the hurt that I've caused, that whole thing.
Right.
So they signed up for it, and then they backed out of it. And a lot of people, when they backed out of it, they said, well, I didn't know that this person was involved, or I wouldn't have done it, whatever. So that person then goes and they do a live stream where they're talking about the situation, and somebody said, did they know, the other people, did they know that you were involved? And she was like, yes, me and my friend organized it. So it's one of those things. So drama's happening. So I wanted to talk about it, but I also didn't want to talk about it directly because that was already happening. So I did this ad for this thing, Clone Club 2022. And it's, hey, welcome to Clone Club 2022. Just me and my clones hanging out in the woods together. And then the clones got progressively weirder as things went on. And at the end, I say, I am no longer going to Clone Club 2022. And it was funny. I thought some other people thought it was funny. And then I did a thing which was an apology video where I apologized for saying that I was going to Clone Club 2022. And then I did another video where I was like, I apologize because Won't You Take Me to Funky Town was playing in the original thing. And it was also playing during my apology. And so I came on and said, I apologize for this Funky Town playing all the way through it. It's a TikTok thing. I can't control it. I'm talking a little bit more. And then I did a third apology where I was like, look, people were mad at my tone. I just was saying, and I did this thing, this third apology, and they're all building off of each other, right? And then I did a fourth one that involved where I was like, this is my wife and she's upset about that. She's like, no, I'm just mad that you're doing this. What's happening? So the third apology video I did bore a striking resemblance to an apology video that somebody did today. The only thing is that I did it like a day ahead of time because I'm just following the general,
right,
I'm apologizing on the internet for something thing. So that's a little crazy. And
almost as if people can be predictable.
Yeah. But I had to kind of apologize to some folks, because here's the thing, it is a serious issue for some people, right? That this thing happened.
Right.
And I'm making fun of the people involved in it, not making fun of the people who were hurt by it. But it is still worth, keeping that in mind. That it is a serious topic to some people.
People take D&D very seriously.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, is that this thing wasn't even, it was a bunch of D&D creators. Oh, and this is what sucks, right? Because one of the people in it, one of the people who's in the video who backed out of it said in comments, I have backed out of this and all that. But they never made a video about how they backed out of it. And that shouldn't be necessarily a big deal. But here's the thing, right? There are all these people talking about this event that this person was going to go through that was this person who blew up the community and was causing all this trouble was going to be doing this event, and this other person was going to be in it, but now they pulled out. In their feed, they do talk about an event. It's a Dungeons and Dragons event, but it's for Feeding America. And because there's not a video about this other thing, people are confused and think that the Feeding America thing is the thing that was so offensive. It's all very gross and weird. Anyway, but the point is, now that people know that this person actually did reach out and people knew that they were involved, they're re-examining all of the different apologies that people have done where they said they didn't know, and they're so it's chaos, man.
Chaos.
And people do care about Dungeons and Dragons a little bit too much, I think. Again, all role-playing games are fun, in my opinion, and trying new ones actually will sometimes make you appreciate things about Dungeons and Dragons more, I think. I was really happy when Annex decided to call it Annex Games instead of Annex D&D and talk about wanting to maybe do other games. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of fun, you want to play an edition of Paul Gonna Guess the News?
Hey, let me do it.
All right. Elon Musk's SpaceX recently launched 47 Starlink satellites into geosynchronous orbits. What happened to 40 of them?
Okay, I'm gonna make a couple of guesses. I'm gonna go with the most fun guess first. Did a satellite from a foreign country scoop them up?
I wish that were true, but
I mean,
no,
just a
that is
Chinese
not
satellite
true.
just comes through. It's just a big pole and it just grabs them. That would be fun. Did they fall back to Earth?
They did fall back to Earth. Can you guess why?
Did they run out of fuel?
No, there was a geomagnetic storm
Oh,
which destroyed them.
wow.
Some of them, I guess, fell back to Earth. I don't think all of them fell back to Earth, but some of them did fall back to Earth. So yeah, 40 out of 47 gone.
Well, at least those 7 are up there.
I know, right? They got a heavy workload, right? Those they got to unionize because otherwise they're not going to send any more up.
Ben, I think I've stated this several times, but isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that all the people who are wanting to send people to space are also anti-union? Am I the only one drawing the connection, Ben?
I think you may have a point.
Gonna turn off your oxygen until you comply, hombre. It'll happen. It's
Everything's on a everything's on a subscription base these days. So like, if you not cross the picket lines, but if you piss off the corporation, they will be able to remotely make your life worse.
Exactly.
While up in space. I actually did hear that automakers are poised to make billions of dollars in the coming years because of subscription-based services for the cars. So, like, let's say when you buy a new car, you can have heated seats for $20 a month. And if you don't pay that $20 a month, you don't get your heated seats anymore. I just saw a thing today where Intel's going to have a new generation of chips where you can pay to unlock features of your computer chip.
Man, that's gonna be a fight against right to repair again. I hate it. You know how much I like right to repair, Ben. Even though I can't fix a dang thing, I think it's very important. For those of you who don't know, right to repair, it's a lot of it has to do with farm equipment and farmers and things like that. Because farms in general, resource rich, cash poor, as people will often say. And so you've got a combine, and you, as a farmer, want to be able to fix that combine yourself. And if you do not have the tools, if the company uses proprietary tools to fix it and has proprietary manuals and things like that, you cannot fix your thing. So the right to repair is just that.
It's not just that either. I know that there are some John Deere tractors where you can't fix it. You have to wait for a certified John Deere technician to come out to wherever the hell in the country your farm is.
Yep.
and fix it themselves. And, you know, I've heard horror stories of farmers not being able to use their farm equipment for months because they can't get a tech out.
Exactly. So imagine that, but in every single aspect of your life. And
Exactly.
that's kind of what we're talking about. I just bought a garbage can from Walmart a little while ago with an automatic lid. It was great for the, months that it worked, and now the
Did you
lid doesn't work.
did you stop paying the subscription fee for your
Well,
lid service?
this is what I'm wondering. Maybe I should check the fine print and see, because yeah, exactly.
That free
I
6 months ran out, huh? That goes by fast.
Yeah, I do love the fact that, like, I still do this. I do not have Spotify. I do not have any of those things. I still buy my albums, even though I don't have a physical copy of them anymore. I
Yeah.
like having it.
Well, technically, you're not buying them. Your user ID is leasing them until the owner of that lease decides to take it away from you.
I hate it. um, but yeah, owning things is neat.
I like
think.
I like some of the like going back to cars. I like some of the conveniences that come with, let's say I can use my phone as the key for the car, so I don't need to take my keys out of my pocket to open up the door. I don't need to put a key in the ignition to start it. It knows it's me. But I do not like the controllability, I guess if that's a word, that someone else can have. I don't want somebody to be able to hack my car.
Yeah, exactly.
Or my house,
And,
for
the
that
thing
matter.
is that this stuff, I mean, keys were like that for a while too. Passwords, for a little while anyway. Passwords are really complicated now. For a little while, passwords weren't that complicated.
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about brute forcing things. I'm as soon as encryption no longer exists, they talk about this, that at some point in time computers are going to get faster than encryption, and there won't be encryption anymore. They talk about it when you talk about quantum computing. It may not ever happen. Or maybe it isn't faster, maybe it's just weirder. The computer is weirder than your encryption and can figure it out really fast.
I'm just imagining some scenario where like something is going on with my house and I have to input my password, but my password's a 26 character alphanumeric password that I'm trying to type into a touchpad to turn the smoke alarm off because it's going off.
Yeah, right now, Ben, a lot of our world is built on your ability to memorize a 6-digit number and have a phone.
Hooray!
Which, by the way, my phone is doing very well. Did I tell you about this? I bought my phone instead
you have
of
like a iPhone 13 or something.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I had the money to do it. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I could lose my job. I could do this. I could do this, and the least amount of payments I have a month, the better.
Right.
As much as I can do. So we'll see. I don't know. It's working out so far, I think.
I actually did that with the with my new phone. I've had it a couple years now, but I did the whole paying for it in monthly installments instead of buying it outright.
Yep.
Because if I did that and go out on this new plan, I would my monthly payments for my phone plan basically got cut in half, and I got a new phone out of the deal.
It
was like I had like an old AT&T unlimited plan. And they wanted to get everybody off unlimited data plan. They wanted to get everybody off that, so they just kept increasing it and increasing it and increasing it every year, to where I was paying almost $110 a month for my phone plan.
Yeah, well, I have 3 phones on my phone plan, so that's around.
I only had the one phone, so I was.
No. But what I mean is my plan much more expensive than the plan that you had, but for 3 people. So So yeah, it's not great. So you're not on an unlimited plan anymore?
I actually am because I moved over to my sister's plan,
Is
and
it still AT&T? Or is
yeah,
it
she had a family plan, and she had like space for me on her family plan,
uh-huh.
and so there's like unlimited text, unlimited data, and with that family plan cost and the cost of the new phone, my phone bill went down by half.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm like, why didn't I do
Well,
this sooner?
well, maybe that'll happen. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, right? The subscription thing and I'm serious about this. I think it may be a way of weaning us off money. That eventually your job is going to come with the subscription package.
Right.
You get a job, you get your
Work 40 hours a week and get these benefits.
we can offer you Soylent or HelloFresh, or whatever. You get your food from these people, you get your TV from these people, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And then people maybe wouldn't want UBI, but what if everybody has a basic plan? I think, Ben, oh my gosh, we've solved it. Ben, what day is it? February 10th,
2022.
2022. Ben and Paul, subscription-based life is how we get rid of money.
You don't need to get rid of money, you just need to get rid of poverty.
We're not going to get rid of poverty, Ben. People like it too much. Not when they have it, but when other people
No,
have
not yeah, whenever they.
Hey, I saw the new plan that you have picked out for me. I see nothing for housing. Where am I getting that from? Oh yeah. Well, there's no housing per se, but you do get to use the bathroom at Starbucks.
But only this one Starbucks at the junction, and they're only open from like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and only if Dave's working.
Yeah. And Dave don't like to work.
And even then, you got to pay a quarter to get in.
Yeah.
Until you reach your monthly maximum of like $5.
Granted, we've gotten rid of all money, but because of that, we have a lot of quarters. So you just get those. But don't think of them as money. They're just tokens.
They're going to be like health insurance plans, aren't they?
Yeah, health insurance plans and the old style of cable bills, Ben. I seriously, Ben, I'm like 5 years from now, we'll be thinking back on this episode and be like, "Yep." I do hate the idea that somebody is listening to this episode. Granted, we don't have a lot of listeners, so that's good. But listening to it, going, "Hey, wait a second."
Steven is going to latch on to I do like the fact that nobody listens to this episode.
Steven, we love you. And we're happy that you're here.
He's not listening right now, but I'm sure he probably will later on.
He's listening to us at 1.5 speed. While
in the future.
Hey, and speaking of that, Ben, it feels as though... Hey, did you hear that?
Well, was that Edward shaking?
Yep, shaking his head.
Right on.
Little helicopter dog. But we are getting towards the end, Ben. And I want to say that it was a pleasure talking to you today.
Likewise. And
as always.
And I hope, as always, I hope you keep it wrong until next week.
Hey, Ben, I'm going to ask you to also keep it wrong. And until then...
All right. Until then, the balcony is
wrong
closed.
Again? I don't...
All right.
Okay.
All right.